Did you know that reading a book has been proven to actually decrease stress? So if the man in your life is showing signs of any stress, maybe this could be a little good thing coming up to the festive season.
Am I seen as the man in your life, one of the men in
Well,
your
you
life?
are in my life all the time. So
yes,
you,
but I'm fairly
obviously.
relaxed. Well, you relax me and I relax you, that kind of thing. So there's no need for books. So there's no need for...
Do you like reading?
I love reading. I love reading, yeah, especially at night and or on a Sunday afternoon. But we have Stephen Boylan from Eason's, and he's here with the best of what's on offer coming up to Christmas, I suppose, just to relax us men. And we're going to start with a fellow who had I don't know, can we say he had a relaxing year, Jim McGuinness.
Incredible book, and it's been selling hugely well for us. Obviously, former Donegal football manager, but a very personal story in this book, Until Victory Always. He lost two of his brothers in very tragic circumstances, Charles and Mark. So those losses were kind of what propelled his career and what kind of drove him on. So a fantastic memoir, not just a book about GAA and managing, but also a very personal story.
I find
Very dramatic cover, isn't it?
Very dramatic, for a very dramatic guy as well.
Yeah.
A fellow who's so focused, it's unbelievable. Like he brought Donegal, they won the All-Ireland for the second time under Jim McGuinness, lost it the following year, but he went on then to work with Celtic as well.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to say, you have a lot of these books, people who think that they're sporting books, but they're not. They're personal biographies as well.
It's the personal story that I think is the real hook in this one. Obviously, very well regarded. I mean, he won Donegal's second All-Ireland, first All-Ireland in 20 years, and the second in 120 years.
Yeah.
So that's how revered he is in Donegal.
He's kind of a god there, in a way.
He is kind of a god.
Jimmy's winning matches. They had a song about him and everything. And he was on the team in '92 as well. That when Donegal won their first team.
Yeah, so
but it's the personal side that I want to find out about this guy.
And the writing in it is incredibly good as well. So
Do you know what I think is strange? I think you could never go wrong getting a book on sport or one of these things. Could you though?
No,
I mean,
definitely
you know,
not,
if you're
no.
kind of stuck, like someone like me that's not into football or GAA or that kind of things, you know?
And I think it transcends sport. It's not just for fans of GAA. It's a really good sports story. So if you're into tennis, if you're into cricket, if you're into
sport in general.
Sport in general.
And I think it's even outside sport, because you get into the mentality of Jim McGuinness, it's winning. That's it. Winning in
Maybe
sport
it's
or winning in business. And that's what it is like.
Okay.
And say, as you say, he lost his two brothers. How would you get over that? And how would you use that then to drive you on to success?
Conquer.
And that's exactly what he did. I mean, and I used that because I know Charles was a very talented footballer, and he kind of said he felt like he had to fill that gap. So that's where it's brought
That's
up.
Jim McGuinness.
Absolutely stunning book.
Okay, another sportsman, Stephen Gerrard, of course, very well known worldwide.
The legend
Liverpool,
that is, 17 seasons at Liverpool. Very controversial, always outspoken, but hugely respected and very well regarded. Again, in football, not just for Liverpool fans who do love their sports books, but a great one for any fans of soccer this Christmas.
And does he talk about his time stateside and all that in it?
There's a bit about that at the end, and you know, as I say, he's always controversial. But this is all about him leaving Liverpool. It's his second autobiography. The first one came out in 2006, and it's been flying just like the first one did.
Now moving on to Second Captain's Lives.
Second Captains. This is just the best book in the world. Again, it's a general sports book, not just for soccer. And there's some kind of serious articles in this, looking at Conor McGregor and others. But as always with Second Captains, there's a huge streak of humour going through it.
This is an annual. This is like
it's a
volume one. So this is a collector's item.
Volume one, and it's just a brilliant. There's a whole section of David O'Doherty playing Subbuteo and him dressing up as a Subbuteo player. And the Second Captain's dinner party. Peg Sayers, great road bowler, but not much crack. So that kind of stuff in. So it's a really funny time. So if you're a fan of the TV show, you'll love this.
I think this is, out of all the books you brought today here, Stephen, I think this is the guys one, really.
This is brilliant.
This is the real
so
guys.
and as
actually,
I say,
look at the inside. The funniest thing ever. This obviously an Irish kind of wall. You got like JFK, and you've got like the Sacred
Lord.
Heart. Yeah, the Sacred Heart picture. They say that everyone. So that's kind of, I suppose,
flock wallpaper's
how we
back.
are. Yeah, it's true. It's just
It never went down, Stephen, believe it.
We still have it. Yeah,
Not
it's
now,
funny.
is it?
Actually, it's funny. It's a bit of a mad. It's a wee look back and stuff, isn't it? It's a real kind of old. You know, it's kind of like a 70s annual, isn't it? Really, look at it.
it's fantastic.
Yeah, even the way it's written.
It's beautifully put together.
David Gillick, who we had him on the show, was he in the kitchen?
He was in the kitchen, a few times.
He's a lovely guy. So this is a cookbook.
This is a cookbook. Kind of Derval O'Rourke had a really big cookbook last year,
Yeah,
Food
she
from
did,
Fastlane, and this kind of follows in that footsteps. It's David Gillick, I suppose, when he was an athlete, and he's a two-time former European indoor champion. He realised how important diet was to his performance, and how food is really fuel when you're all that. So he's applied that to kind of for everybody and for everybody's lives, and how you can get the best out of food.
And if you had like David Gillick, you could turn it to James Bond.
James Bond. I mean,
What's the story
He's
this.
never been bigger. James Bond, obviously, Spectre's been huge,
Yeah.
Skyfall was
Yeah.
huge, but this book by Anthony Horowitz is the latest in kind of the James Bond reinvention, but this is back to James Bond's glory days. So this is
Trigger
Goldfinger,
Mortis.
Trigger Mortis, this is Goldfinger, Pussy Galore, so it's
That's
back
why
to,
the original Ian Fleming stuff.
yes, back to that kind of thing where the car is his best weapon, and it's just a really, like, the Russians are the enemies,
So
back
is
to
there
Cold
an
War.
era then? Is it actually?
It's 1950s, 60s.
Oh, I see. So it's actually that. It's not
It's
just taking
actually
it.
back to
oh,
old
I'd love
Bond.
that.
Yeah, so it's great fun, and
Lovely.
you know, it's written in the old style of James
Are we,
Bond.
are we back over the Iron Curtain again, are we?
Back over the Iron
Brilliant.
Curtain? Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. I
You
love
love
it.
all that
So
stuff.
it's away from all the technology kind of stuff. It's really
Yeah.
back to basic
Good
stuff.
Now, I'd read this, Chris Evans,
I
because
feel-
I like him.
I feel so old. It's like 21 years since Don't Forget Your Toothbrush, and
Yeah.
obviously, like, he's been in show business for a long time, but his profile really has never been higher because TFI Friday is back. He's
I'm
about to
so
take
happy
up,
about that. Yeah.
it's so great, and he's about to take up Top Gear in the new
right,
year.
yeah.
So this is all about him kind of approaching 50 years of age, the male menopause. He trains for marathon. So I think guys absolutely love Chris Evans. He's got that kind of boy sense of humour about him. So a really good one, good entertainment.
He's grown up a
biography.
lot, though, in the last few years, I
has, yeah.
feel.
Yeah,
Even
okay.
in his radio show and everything, he's just different.
But he did so much when he was so young, you know, being
did,
that
yeah.
radio mogul and all that attention that he
Yeah.
had, that whole Cool Britannia phase. So a really interesting read from Chris Evans.
Now,
Okay.
1916 next year, you
Yes.
can only imagine that we'll have an avalanche of books coming out.
Yes.
Two I really want to read, The Children of the Rising by Joe Duffy, and this one, The Scrap.
The Scrap is brilliant. It's a different take on 1916 Rising. It's not a straightforward
Yeah.
history
Even the
book.
name is kind of different and catchy as well.
Exactly, yeah, and it's a narrative non-fiction book, if you like. So it's non-fiction, but it's told kind of in
Yeah.
a fiction way about some friends from Finglas who are from an F company and go into the centre of the city around the time of the 1916 Rising, and it's their story. So you see everything happening through their eyes. So a really interesting take on it. But as you say, a huge amount of fantastic history books out,
Yeah.
given that the year that's
Gene
going to be.
Kerrigan
out.
from the Sunday
Tim Pash
Independent. of
Coogan
course.
as well. He's
1916, The Mornings After, is doing really well for us as well. So very interesting.
He's great.
Yeah.
Stephen, thank you
Thanks
very
a
much.
million, as
Thank you very
always.
much.
Great to see you.
Yes,
I'm
if-
sure we'll see you before Christmas, hopefully.
Hopefully we'll be back.
That'd be nice.
Hopefully will, yes. And for more information on all these books, you can go to easons.com, and the lovely people at Easons, Stephen included, of course, have given us a selection of books to give away to you at home.
Oh,
For more
treats.
information, go to our Facebook page. All the details are on there.